Shocking! King Charles III praises Alex Eala and announces a special prize. And when Buckingham Palace released the official statement, the tennis world stopped breathing. A 21-year-old from Manila, raised on clay courts in Spain, just received the kind of recognition usually reserved for Olympic legends and Grand Slam champions. What did Alex Eala do to capture the attention of a king, and what is the special prize that has fans across 2 continents screaming with joy? Birmingham, England, June 7, 2026, Centre Court. The applause had barely faded. Alex Eala stood at the net, waiting to shake the hand of the #1 seed, her chest still heaving from 2 hours of battle on grass. The final point, a cross-court winner that kissed the sideline, had just sealed her first grass-court title, her first WTA trophy since 2025, and the most defiant moment of her young career. But this was not the moment the world would remember. 7 days earlier, the Women's Tennis Association advised Eala to withdraw from the Birmingham Open. The reason? Fitness concerns. The 21-year-old Filipina had just endured a brutal clay court season that left her with heavy legs, sleepless nights, in a 4-9 record that told only part of the story. The WTA saw a player at risk. Alex Eala saw something else. A test. She refused. She signed a waiver releasing the governing body from liability, and she posted 4 sentences that broke the tennis internet. I'm not injured. I'm tired, and I'm done pretending that I'm not. But I'm also done letting others decide what I can and cannot do. Within hours, the comments flooded in. The Philippine flag emoji appeared by the thousands. One word echoed across every platform. Laban. Fight. On Centre Court, against the tournament's #1 seed, Eala showed exactly what that word meant. Down 4-1 in the second set, her legs screaming, her first serve percentage dropping, she did not break. She bent, then she sprang back. She broke her opponent twice, saved a match point, and sealed the title with a backhand down the line that left the stadium in stunned silence, followed by an eruption of pure joy. Later that night, at the trophy ceremony, she held the silverware high and spoke into a microphone that broadcast her words to millions. The WTA told me I couldn't play. Maybe they were right. Maybe I am tired. But I'm also a fighter. This is for the Philippines. Laban. Always. Fans across 2 continents wept. The Philippine president posted a congratulations. Her mother, former national swimming star Risa Maniego Eala, watched from the stands, tears streaming down her face. But what happened next, what no one in that stadium could have predicted, would turn a defiant victory into something far bigger, something that would reach beyond tennis, beyond sports, all the way to Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace, London, June 10, 2026, 9:15 a.m. Just 3 days after lifting the Birmingham Open trophy, Alex Eala found herself in a situation she never could have scripted, not even in her wildest dreams. The call came on a quiet Wednesday morning. Eala was back in Manila, still jet-lagged, still processing the emotional whirlwind of the past week. The trophy sat on a shelf in her childhood bedroom, a silver reminder of what defiance could achieve. But now, her phone buzzed with a notification that would stop her heart cold. The email address ended with 3 letters. UK. Royal. Official. Unmistakable. At first, she thought it was spam. Every athlete gets scam. Emails. Fake sponsors, fake invitations, fake promises. But when her agent called seconds later, her voice shaking, Alex knew this was different. They're serious, Alex. Buckingham Palace wants to speak with you. The message was brief, but formal. His Majesty King Charles III had taken note of her performance at the Birmingham Open, not just the tennis, but the courage behind it, the refusal to back down, the message she had sent to young athletes everywhere. The king wishes to offer his personal congratulations and discuss a matter of mutual interest. A matter of mutual interest? What could that possibly mean? For 2 days, Eala's phone didn't stop ringing. The Philippine media had somehow caught wind of the email. Or, at least, they caught the energy shift. Reporters camped outside her family's home. Fans speculated endlessly on social media. Had the king invited her to tea? Was this about the Commonwealth Games? Or something else entirely? On June 22nd, Philippine Independence Day of all days, the second email arrived. This one didn't ask for a meeting, it announced one. His Majesty King Charles III has requested the honor of your presence at Buckingham Palace on June 25, 2026, for a special audience. Eala read the words 7 times before they fully registered. Then she called her mother, and together they cried. A 21-year-old tennis player from Quezon City, a nation that had never produced a Grand Slam singles champion, a country where tennis courts are scarce and resources are stretched, was being summoned to the most famous palace in the world, not as a tourist, as a guest of the king. The news broke on Philippine television at noon. ABC-CBN ran the headline across the bottom of the screen. Alex Eala invited to Buckingham Palace. King Charles III takes notice. Within hours, the story had gone global. The tennis world was confused. Buckingham Palace doesn't just call anyone. The king's public engagements are planned months in advance. Private audiences are reserved for heads of state, Nobel laureates, and occasionally sporting legends at the very peak of their powers. So why Alex Eala? Why now? Some speculated it was a Commonwealth gesture, a way for the king to recognize emerging talent from the member nations. Others whispered about a possible honorary award, or maybe even a knighthood in the works, for her contributions to sport. But Eala herself stayed silent. Her team released a single statement. Alex is deeply honored by His Majesty's invitation and looks forward to the meeting. That was it. No details, no hints, just a promise that something big was coming. And as June 25th approached, the speculation grew louder, wilder, and more desperate. What did the king want with a tennis player who had just won a WTA 125 tournament? Impressive, yes, but not Wimbledon. The answer, when it finally arrived, would stun 2 continents. Buckingham Palace, London, June 25, 2026, 2 p.m. The day had finally arrived. Alex Eala stepped out of a black chauffeured car and onto the gravel driveway of Buckingham Palace. Her heart pounding so loudly she was certain the guards could hear it. She wore a traditional Filipino dress, intricate embroidery, butterfly sleeves, every stitch a tribute to the nation she carried on her shoulders. The photographer shouted her name. The flashbulbs popped like firecrackers during a Manila festival. And somewhere deep inside the palace, King Charles III was waiting to meet her. The audience lasted 40 minutes. No cameras were allowed inside, but later, Eala's team would describe it as warm, deeply personal, and completely unexpected in its generosity. And then, the announcement. At 3:30 p.m., Buckingham Palace released an official statement that sent shockwaves across 2 continents. His Majesty King Charles III had not only praised Alex Eala as an inspiration to young athletes across the Commonwealth and beyond, but it also revealed something extraordinary, a special prize. The king announced the creation of the Queen Elizabeth II Commonwealth Young Athlete Award, a brand new honor established specifically to recognize athletes who demonstrate exceptional courage, resilience, and the spirit of fair play. And Alex Eala would be its first ever recipient. But that wasn't all. The prize included an invitation to a state banquet at Buckingham Palace later this year, a medal designed by the Royal Mint, and, most stunningly of all, a £100,000 grant to support grassroots tennis developments in the Philippines. The money would go directly to building new tennis courts, funding coaching programs, and creating opportunities for the next generation of Filipino athletes. The statement read, Her Majesty's commitment to youth development and Commonwealth unity has long been a cornerstone of His Majesty's work. In Alexandra Eala, His Majesty sees a young woman who embodies those values. Not just through her athletic achievements, but through her courage in standing up for her beliefs and her dedication to inspiring others. The tennis world stopped breathing. Within minutes, Eala's phone exploded. Messages poured in from every corner of the globe. Coco Gauff posted a screenshot of the palace announcement with the caption, "This is insane, so deserved." Naomi Osaka, who had once been the face of athlete mental health advocacy, wrote simply, "She changed the game, on and off the court." But the reaction that mattered most came from the Philippines. In Quezon City, crowds gathered outside Eala's family home, waving flags and chanting, "Laban, Laban, Laban." President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. issued a statement calling Eala a national treasure whose light shines brighter than any palace chandelier. The hashtag Eala meets the king trended worldwide for 6 straight hours. Back in Manila, her mother Risa watched the coverage through tears. She told a local reporter, "I never imagined this. When Eala was 5 years old, she used to watch Princess Diana's funeral on TV and cry. Now, she's meeting her son. Life is extraordinary." But not everyone was celebrating. Behind the scenes, the WTA remained conspicuously silent. No congratulatory tweet, no statement acknowledging the honor, just the same cold, professional silence that had followed Isla's defiant victory in Birmingham. And that silence, for millions of fans watching, spoke louder than any palace announcement ever could. The sun had set over Metro Manila hours ago, but the streets outside Alex Eala's family home still glowed with an amber haze, the remnants of a day that would never be forgotten. She sat alone in her childhood bedroom, the Buckingham Palace medal resting in its velvet box on her nightstand. The grant documents, a signed commitment to build 6 new tennis courts across Luzon and Visayas, sat in a folder beside it. And somewhere in the air, the weight of everything that had just happened pressed down like a gentle hand on her shoulder. 21 years old, a grass court champion, a palace guest, and now the face of a new kind of movement. Earlier that evening, before the Philippine media frenzy had fully subsided, Eala stepped off a plane at Ninoy Aquino International Airport. No fanfare, not officially anyway, but somehow, word had leaked. A crowd of nearly 2,000 had gathered outside the arrivals gate, waving Philippine flags, holding signs that read Laban, and chanting her name until their voices went hoarse. She had walked through that crowd with tears in her eyes, gripping her mother's hand, stopping to hug children who looked at her like she was something between a big sister and a superhero. One little girl, no older than 8, had handed her a drawing, a crayon sketch of a tennis court with a crown about it and a single word written at the bottom, Salamat. Thank you. Eala had knelt down, looked that child in the eyes and said something that would later be replayed across Philippine television for days. Hug kang titijal mangadap, hindi mahalaga kang saan ka nagsisimula. Mahalaga kang saan ka kupuntha. Don't stop dreaming. It doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you're going. The little girl had burst into tears, so had Eala. Later that night, alone in her room, Alex scrolled through her phone, not to check her notifications, which had become a tsunami of congratulations and interview requests, but to read the stories of the people who had written to her over the past week. A young tennis player from Iloilo City who had been told she wasn't good enough to compete in the regional championships. She had messaged Eala, "I read your post. I'm done pretending to. Thank you." A mother in Cebu who had lost her husband during the pandemic and was struggling to pay for her daughter's tennis lessons. She had written, "When you said you were tired, I felt it. When you won, I cried. My daughter wants to be like you."